Self-talk is literally programming your brain. Most people don't even realize it, but the way you talk to yourself is literally programming your brain, your beliefs, your habits. And it's either upgrading your brain or locking you into limitations. It's not just woo-woo mindset stuff, this is neuroscience. Think of your brain like the software of a computer. And every word you say to yourself, like constantly saying, I'm lazy, I'm not good enough, or I'm dumb, or I'm not as good as that person over there, is literally installing that as a belief and as a fact, especially when you repeat it constantly, and most of us do, unconsciously. Why? It's because your subconscious brain takes everything on as literal. Especially when you're consistently repeating these thoughts, it gets ingrained in your brain as a software. Now you've been programmed by yourself, unfortunately that's how it is though, to think this way because of the repeated thoughts. So your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on the repetition of thought that you tell yourself. And the more often you repeat this thought, the stronger the neural pathway in your brain will be. This is basically what we call neuroplasticity, and I'm not a neuroscientist, I'm fascinated with this stuff, so I love teaching it because I'm learning it myself and I want to upgrade my life, and it's honestly helping. Now, once you've programmed this in your brain, for example, a limiting behavior or a limiting thought like, I'm not as good as that person, there's always someone better than me, what your brain will do, it'll filter it out so that it proves itself right. This is called the reticular activating system, or RAS for short. Now, basically, this is a filtering system that your brain does to filter out everything else and highlight what you believe. For example, I'm not good enough. I'm gonna shine a light on the time where I feel not good enough and be like, you see, I was right, I'm not good enough. Think of it like this. Have you ever bought a car, for example, you had a red Toyota, you just bought it, and before you bought it, you never saw that car before, but now since you bought it, you see them everywhere? That is the reticular activating system. It's not that the car was never there, it's just you filtered it out. It wasn't at the forefront of your brain. But now it is because you have one, you see them everywhere. We've all done that. That is the filtering system our brain goes through. Now, in saying that, it can work against you or we can work for you. And how we make it work for us is we become consciously aware of our thoughts, and then we change those habits, we change those thoughts for ones that actually serve us. And then eventually our brain will rewire itself thanks to neuroplasticity, because the brain now is moldable. The brain is very moldable. And once we do that, we will filter out the shit we don't want, and we'll actually shine the light on the thoughts that we have now ingrained in us that we want, that serve us. For example, you know what? I actually am very smart. I am actually pretty disciplined. Or I actually go for things I want, and it'll happen. So the brain will either work for you or against you, but it's up to you to program it. And how you program it is, I want you to speak in identity. For example, I am a disciplined person. Not saying I'm trying to be more disciplined, because now you're identifying yourself as a disciplined person. Our identity is our strongest personality trait, and the identity will form and shape our habits and behaviors, and the habits and behaviors are the fundamental thing that will change our life. That is the most powerful thing you can do. For example, I used to smoke for 10 years, and when I tried to quit, I used to tell myself, if someone offered me a cigarette, I'd say, nah, thanks, I'm trying to quit. I'm not actually affirming to myself that I'm not smoking anymore. So what happened was, I went back to smoking. Whereas, if you do this instead, say, someone comes and offers me a cigarette, and I'd say, hey, no thanks, I'm not a smoker. I just identified myself as a non-smoker. The more you do that, then your habits and behaviors, like I said, will match that identity that you're placing on yourself. So be very, very careful with how you identify yourself. It's super important. It'll shape your whole reality. So just realize that you're not lazy. You're not a bad person. It's just the way you've programmed your brain, or the way your brain has been programmed from childhood. But remember, you can take action and you can change it. I swear. It's not easy, but life is not easy. Life is hard either way. Choose your hard. Do you want to do easy things so you can have a hard life? Or do you want to do the hard things so you can have an easy life? And once you can reprogram your brain, your life will be so much easier and it'll be so much more seamless. So subscribe, like, share the video as well to someone that needs to hear this, and I'll continue to make more. Drop a comment below that you want to rewire in your brain, and let's help each other out. Let's go.